This is my recycled mini album made out of paper bags, and all the pages are made from these bags which I got from the supermarket. We have Glassine panel which is translucent, so I formed them pages into a pocket like that. So it's a pocket and a panel, the same on the other side, and then the inside is plain. The cover of the book is made from Amazon packaging material. The structure of the cover is from a cardboard Amazon envelope, and then the cover over the top, the paper over it, is Amazon packaging paper, which I've made to look like faux leather with some acrylic paint and gold, and I've creased it. And the closure is with a brad and a length of sari silk, and we go with some decorative beads. Okay. There are quite a lot of printables in here, and most of them come from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site, which I belong to. The first page, what can I say about that? Yes, I've got some paper here that you can see has little holes in it. This is actually from these leaflets that you get with medication. They come concertina folded, and I don't unfold them. I punch lots of holes in them, and then I spray paint them over something else so they act as a stencil, so I get double for my money that way. So that's what that is. And these circles were done by stamping with a jar lid into a white acrylic paint. I've got a little ticket in there on the pocket, and I've made, in most cases in this book, this pocket, this glassine panel is a pocket which has a tag in it, and in this case I've got some figures behind the gentleman here, so they look as if they're in the distance. Then I pull that out, and you can see the paper underneath there. So that's the tag with some decorative yarn on the top and some stenciling on the back. Slip that back in there. Okay. This is one of the centrefold pages. Now I didn't arrange the pages in signatures. I bound them as single folios because I thought it was going to get too thick otherwise. This is mostly just printables and some die cuts and things stuck down. A bit of stenciling, a bit of stamping. And this page, this tag, has some more decorative fancy yarn on the top. And this, I've got a lot of strips of coloured card, plain coloured card, about that wide I suppose, and I've decorated them all, and I can use them for collage and things like that. And then this tag comes out. The gold and some bits of unravelled string and some beads to decorate the top. And I've got a vintage calendar on the back that you can see through the glassine panel, and that goes back in there. And I've got some fabric trimming on there. That one back. This page I've got a bit of lace on there. This is some experimental stuff that I did with some gilding. I think that was foiling, but the foil was practically worn out, so it's all patchy. It's really quite nice, that. And there's a clip on the top there, which has those on the top. You see that? And that holds 2 tags in place. You've got that one. There's some of that medication leaflet which has been punched and sprayed with gold. The border die cuts, bit of washi tape, and some stenciling on the back. And then a smaller tag, again that paper. Okay. And oh, this tag comes out of the side. There we go. So that figure is behind the 2 girls, and that's another of my decorative strips. That's some more of that paper on the top of the tags. Another centre page, fairly simple. I made a pocket here out of vellum and a transparent tag. And I printed that printable mirror image so I could stick it down, and then laminated it. That's a bit of washi, I think. Alright. Now this is one of my favourite materials for collage, and it's this. It's this paper mesh, and when it's not expanded, it's just brown paper, but it's got little slits in it, and they pull apart, and they bulk up, and they make this packaging material that stops things getting damaged in transit. But it makes wonderful collage material. It's really textural and lovely, and you can also spray through it. So you spray it, and then it will act as a stencil with the paper that you've got underneath, and I use a lot of that. I think that's really good stuff. And that's just got some gold on it, you can see there. These were some of my failed jelly prints, but I don't throw anything away. I put them in my scrap box, and they get used. Some stenciling on the back. That out. Now this one, this glassine panel, is a shaker. It's got lots of sequins in there, but it's really hard to get them to move. I don't get them to. There we go. They don't move very easily. Washi tape, a bit of fabric trim, and die cut, and some more vellum there, and a gel print underneath. I'll say a bit more about that later on. I've got a better example of that. Okay, and this page, this is great fun. Start on a bit of a steampunk theme here. So we've got a clip here which comes off, and a nice clock face. More of the medication paper there. And this tag with the ladies on, that comes out. And we've got a nice sight chart underneath. Some printed paper, And I printed up this background design, steampunk design, with lots of hats and bicycles and all sorts of fun things on there. And I spread out a whole lot of scrap strips of card on my table, tea-dyed them all, and just stamped randomly with background and text stamps all over them. So I've got lots of nice strips of card to use for all sorts of projects. And the top of that, the tag has a little key. And then we have this, there's a ruler here, there, and we have this little hat, and when I pull it out there's a little gentleman underneath, and he's got shiny glasses. More steampunk. That's a tuck spot. This is an old luggage tag which I've put some printables on. Oh yes, now this is the gel printing that I was going to tell you about. I got this texture from this piece of plastic bath mat. This is the top side of it. It's really rubbery and it's pretty unpleasant. It was a very horrible shade of pink. I would never have it in my bathroom. But the back of it's got these little suction pads to stop it slipping around, and that's what gives this absolutely gorgeous pattern. It's one of my favourite texture makers on the gel plate, that one. I love that. Oh, I did this background from different images on the Graphics Fairy. I've got some gear wheels here, one back, little ticket cluster, and that tuck spot. And then we've got this little this bit comes out. And this is a double-sided clothing tag. I put that little pin and some gear wheels on there. So when you turn the page, I think there's everything that needs to be said about that page. This is the other side of it, and it's got some more of this paper mesh on it, and it's more or less held down by this tag. Eyelet, a little bit of chain. I save a lot of bits like this. I buy junk jewellery at village fates and all sorts of things like that. Take them apart and can use the bits and pieces. And this is a little specimen slide. So that now lifts up. And I made some strips with some of that scrap strips of card with just torn up bits of gel print and scraps just glued down to make a collage. Got some more of the mesh there, paper mesh, with some gold and a bit more medication leaflet there. Alright, and then I take this one out. That's another of those strips that I tea-dyed and randomly stamped all over them. That was using a die cut, which I just laid down on the black card and sprayed it with gold, so it acted as a mask. got lots of bugs and butterflies and bees and all sorts of things on these pages. More specimen slides, they don't come out. And a little book about beekeeping. But it's just got lots of pictures of bees. There are bugs under there. That comes out. I'll take that out. We've got more bugs underneath. And more of that stamped strips of card. And a little magnifying glass. But unfortunately, it doesn't magnify. My hobby thought that was pretty pathetic, but it's fun. Corrugated cardboard. Okay, I think that's everything on that page. I've got some, where this magnifying glass is attached, I've got some little metal butterflies. I had a bracelet that had loads of these on it. It was a sort of coiled wire arrangement with lots of butterflies, and I thought, well, I'll never wear it. So I took it apart, and I've got lots of the little butterfly charms now to use. Right, now this page we've got some tiny pockets which are made out of vellum with eyelets, a little string thread fastening, and each one has got a specimen slide inside, just blank on the back. Attached. Everything else is just glued down. The centre pages of each folio tend to be simpler. I just glue things down more or less because I haven't got the pockets on them. Butterflies. There's some more collage. Just glued down random pieces on there and on there. Let's just see some pattern paper underneath there. Another specimen slide with a butterfly. It's got some very pretty washi tape along the top there, which is pink and gold. And in there we've got a little tiny butterfly net. And I made that out of some plastic fruit net from the supermarket, which I painted. This is a floral page. These flowers were all cut from book pages and coloured with watercolour. I just drew the outline of the flower with a Posca pen and cut them out, and they've got a bit of glitter glue in the centre. Got quite a few of those in this book. That tag. This is a piece of calico with a what do you call it? There's a sort of sticker, like a sticker transfer sort of thing on there, and some die cut leaves. This is stenciled through the medication leaflet paper. That's a bit of lace there on the top. Some pink lace up the side there with more die cut leaves. It's just some background paper there. That's the medication leaflet paper. If you tear it along the perforations, you can get some very nice little border strips. Couple of charms on there, metal charms. These big leaves I designed on Inkscape on the computer and cut on the cutting machine. The background is another of those stamped strips. And you can see there the tiniest little scraps can be used. Some more of my leaves. And these flowers, I've got this technique I call mask and spray, where I cut the flowers on the cutting machine and laid them out on paper and sprayed them, and then picked up the flowers and turned them over and put them down somewhere else and sprayed again. So you get a lovely background sheet and you also get double-sided flowers. But I've layered those up, and they're also done with infusions by Paper Artsy. It's sort of a bit like brochures. Some more of those flowers there. There's another flower which is done with the same technique. Die cuts, fussy cut butterflies. And this one is about trees. Some more of the mesh there, really textured. Sort of gold medication paper there. This irregular shaped tag. More of my collage paper and some die cut leaves. Again, a bit of corrugated cardboard across the top. And this page is quite fun. I've left the on the bag where it says there, I've left the words there. There's a little nod to where this all comes from. A bit more medication paper there, and you can see between the folios I've got this very nice printed background. That was from the Graphics Fairy. Another bit of my scrap card strips that I made. That's a little bit of decorative tissue paper with spots on it. And another little narrow strip there of the medication leaflet just torn between two rows of perforations. A tag with a vellum die cut leaf, bit of stamping, printed background, and this tree I drew on this paper, and then carried the drawing onto the glassine panel. Some more of that border there, and when you pull this out, the leaves are on the tag. I pull that out, and then you've got the tree without any leaves there. And that's a little picture which is stitched down with the sewing machine. And the top of that is done with some more of that stamped strips of card. And this is a celebration of trees. We've got some more of the mesh paper there, and some die cut leaves everywhere, and there. And I wrote this little poem, and I've printed it larger onto this printable background paper, just so that it's got some text there, and then I wrote this poem. So I think trees are absolutely wonderful. What you can make with wood is unbelievable. It's so incredible. And then this is the final page of the book. Again, another of those printed strips. This tag comes out, got some stamped background paper there. This is using the paper mesh packaging paper as a stencil. It was sprayed with gold onto black card. And there's a bit of fancy cut paper along the top, edged with gold. And this tag, corrugated cardboard, more of that stamped strip. And I think this was just a mopping up sheet from some sprayed inks. It was just gorgeous, so I thought I'd use it. And when you take that tag out the pocket, I've cut this is cut out. It's a die cut leaf cut out onto a gold background, and the pattern lines up with the pocket. And then on the inside of the back cover, this same end paper as there is on the front there, I've made a pocket to put one of the bags in, to show how the book was made. And again, I've lined up the pattern of the paper so that it looks continuous when there's nothing in the pocket. So that goes in there. I don't think I've left anything out. It's on the top. And then that's closed. And then we close it. And that is my recycled paper bag mini album, which I hope you've enjoyed seeing this flip through. And thank you very much for watching.